And another Daily Mail TV exclusive, too posh to push. Meghan Markle made her first husband agree to a pregnancy contract to make sure that she was afforded every possible luxury if she gave birth to their child.
Something unexpected is shaking up royal circles, where old relationships are usually locked away and messy stories get covered up with polished smiles and perfect headlines. Now, a sudden break in silence from someone once very close to Meghan has reportedly left Prince Harry completely stunned, sparking whispers that just will not die down. What people once brushed off as the past is suddenly back in focus, hitting with a strange clarity that feels hard to ignore. It's raising serious questions about what really happened behind closed doors and who stayed loyal when things got complicated. Could this twist flip everything people thought they knew? And honestly, does this change how people look at Harry and Meghan now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want more stories like this getting exposed, hit subscribe so more people can see what's really been hidden. The silence behind the spotlight feels louder than ever. The time is exactly 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, May 1st, 2026. While the world watches the grand steps of the White House, waiting for King Charles III to arrive, a totally different vibe is unfolding miles away in the quiet hills of Montecito. Behind those tall gates and perfectly shaped hedges, something is slowly falling apart. What once looked like a powerful, globe-crossing love story that had Hollywood buzzing now feels distant, almost like it was never as perfect as it seemed. Now, in place of that polished image, there's a fragile reality showing through, and even the most carefully managed spotlight can't fully hide it anymore. Prince Harry has finally started opening up about what he says really went down behind palace walls, and people close to him claim this isn't the filtered version the public is used to hearing. They say this is the first time he's speaking freely, no careful wording, no protecting feelings, no shaping the story to look good for the cameras. And what's coming out now, it's way heavier than anyone expected. The tension in his marriage, once brushed off as gossip, is no longer staying quiet in the background. For the prince once known for his easy grin and rebellious energy, something feels completely different now. The world that once saw Harry the Spare is now looking at a man who seems worn out, distant, and carrying years of pressure that never showed on the surface. According to insiders, Harry has started noticing patterns he used to ignore. He's reportedly facing moments he once pushed aside, talk of control, emotional strain, and a constant reshaping of his place in his own life. One insider told The Telegraph that Harry is only now starting to connect the dots, like waking up from a situation he didn't even realize he was stuck in. For someone who built his identity around protecting others, this realization is said to hit hard, deeper than people might think. In one of his most emotional moments, Harry shared what really hurts, and it's not fame or money, it's distance. "I miss the UK," he admitted. "I miss parts of the UK, of course I do." His tone softened as he spoke about his children and the life they may never experience firsthand. "I think it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show my children my homeland." That wasn't just simple nostalgia, it sounded like real loss, a feeling that something permanent is gone, and no amount of success in California can truly replace it. For years, Harry stood firm as the loyal husband, the protector, the one taking the hits. He backed Meghan through every storm, every headline, every accusation, and every wave of public pressure that came their way. No matter if the world painted them as heroes or villains, he stayed solid and didn't back down. But people close to him are now saying there's been a slow and painful wake-up call, a growing realization that the story shown to the public didn't always match what he was actually living behind closed doors. That shift hit hard last week in California when Harry showed up at a private wellness summit focused on men's mental health. The event was supposed to be calm, supportive, and fully controlled, but everything changed in a split second. A journalist asked one simple question that landed way heavier than anyone expected. Do you ever feel like you lost yourself in love? People in the room say Harry completely froze. His smile dropped, the energy shifted, and suddenly the whole space went quiet. For a moment it looked like he might not respond at all, and in that silence something subtle but serious cracked. Those watching closely could tell this wasn't the same carefully managed version of Harry they were used to seeing. This time nothing felt rehearsed, nothing felt polished, and once that moment happened, there was no easy way to take it back. So how did that quiet confession end up sending shockwaves all the way back to palace walls? And could this be the turning point no one saw coming?
Now, claims have been circulating online suggesting that Prince William ordered a DNA test involving Meghan's pregnancy and the children, Archie and Lilibet. There is no verified evidence supporting these allegations, but the rumors alone have added even more tension to an already intense situation. Although none of this has been officially confirmed by Prince William, some people online are claiming that if it were true, it could settle long-running questions surrounding Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Still, it's important to note there's no verified proof behind these claims, even as the speculation keeps spreading. But how did this whole situation even start? Stay locked in, because the timeline around Meghan Markle's pregnancy has a lot of people talking. The surrogacy speculation linked to Meghan Markle can be traced back to around 2019, just weeks before the birth of her first child, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. At the beginning, the conversation was small and easy to miss. It mostly stayed on blogs, royal watching forums, and social media pages, where people tracked every detail of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But once Archie was born in May 2019, the discussion didn't just fade away, it grew louder and more organized. It quickly became one of the most talked about and debated topics connected to the couple. Unlike many royal traditions, Meghan and Harry decided not to pose outside the hospital with their newborn. For years, the public had gotten used to that moment. Princess Diana did it. Kate Middleton did it multiple times. Meghan and Harry chose a different route, saying they wanted privacy. Critics questioned that decision, while supporters defended it, and just like that, the first wave of controversy took off. Then things got even more confusing with the timing of the birth announcement. Buckingham Palace first told the press that Meghan had gone into labor, which added another layer of uncertainty and kept people questioning what was really happening behind the scenes. Later on, reports revealed that Archie had actually been born earlier than first announced. Supporters saw this as a way to manage media pressure and keep things under control, but skeptics viewed it very differently. To them, it looked like the information being shared didn't fully line up, and that raised even more questions. Some commentators started asking why there was any delay at all if everything had gone smoothly. The secrecy around the birth location only added more tension to the situation. It was eventually reported that Archie was born at the private Portland Hospital in London, but the details stayed tightly locked down. Unlike past royal births, there were no publicly shared medical signatures or the usual confirmations people had come to expect. That lack of transparency made some observers uneasy, and it opened the door for more speculation to grow. Around that same time, old photos and videos from Meghan's pregnancy started getting picked apart online. Some users claimed her baby bump seemed to change shape or size depending on the day. Others pointed out moments where it looked higher or lower than expected. That's when the phrase moon bump started spreading across certain corners of the internet, a term often used by conspiracy groups to suggest a fake pregnancy belly. There has never been verified evidence to support those claims, but that didn't stop the theory from spreading fast across gossip blogs and social media.
As time went on, the conversation became more intense, with some public figures stepping in and making direct accusations. One of the most outspoken voices was Lady Colin Campbell, a royal author and commentator. She repeatedly questioned the official version of events and argued that there should be more clarity about whether Meghan had physically given birth. She went on to suggest that if surrogacy had been involved, it could raise serious questions under royal succession traditions, which historically required heirs to be born of the body. Her comments spread fast and sparked intense debate across media and online spaces. But that wasn't the end of it. Soon, Meghan's estranged family members stepped into the spotlight as well. Her half-sister, Samantha Markle, gave multiple interviews where she openly said she believed surrogacy was a possibility. She pointed to conversations she claimed their father, Thomas Markle, had shared about Meghan freezing her eggs years earlier. Samantha didn't provide any solid evidence, but her statements were picked up and repeated by tabloids across both the UK and the United States, pushing the story even further into the public eye. Because these claims were coming from a family member, they carried more weight for some people, even those who hadn't paid attention to the earlier rumors. By late 2019 and into 2020, social media had become the main force driving the entire narrative. There were even accounts fully dedicated to breaking down Meghan's pregnancy photos frame by frame, analyzing every detail like it was a major investigation. Some users claimed videos showed the bump shifting or folding when she sat down, while others argued her movements seemed too flexible for someone in the later stages of pregnancy. A few bloggers even mentioned unnamed experts who supposedly questioned whether her movements looked typical, but no clear sources were ever confirmed. There was still no real proof behind any of it, yet the repetition kept the claims alive and spreading. Then came early 2020 when Prince Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties and moved to North America. Their exit, widely known as Megxit, only added more fuel to the situation. For those who already felt the couple had broken royal expectations, the move away from Britain looked suspicious, like they were trying to avoid public scrutiny, even though no evidence confirmed those assumptions. When Harry later shared details in his memoir Spare, some readers zoomed in on his description of Archie's birth, especially how quickly they returned home afterward. Online commentators started questioning the timeline, saying it sounded unusually fast for a first birth. At the same time, others pushed back, pointing out that every medical experience is different and there's no single normal timeline. Still, the debate didn't slow down, it only got louder. Then, in 2021, when Harry and Meghan announced the birth of their daughter, Lilibet Diana, in California, the entire conversation came roaring back. Because the birth happened in the United States, outside of traditional royal systems, even less information was publicly shared. That lack of detail gave speculation more space to grow, and the allegations quickly escalated beyond what had been seen before. Some media commentators went as far as calling on Prince Harry to provide proof of paternity, including DNA confirmation, claiming it would end the rumors once and for all. These demands didn't come from any official authority, but they still gained attention and kept the story alive in headlines and online discussions. At the same time, legal and historical debates about royal lineage started getting pulled into the mix. Certain commentators explain that royal tradition has typically required children in the line of succession to be born to the royal mother. That detail led some critics to argue that if surrogacy had been involved, it could raise serious implications. However, no verified evidence has ever been presented to support those claims, even as the discussions kept circulating. By the mid-2020s, the pattern was clear. No new proof, but no silence either. Every public appearance, every interview, every photo shared by Harry and Meghan seemed to restart the entire debate all over again. Despite all the noise, official records and statements have consistently maintained that Meghan gave birth to both of her children. Even now, the controversy continues to divide opinion without any final resolution in the public eye. But what would it really mean if Prince Harry and Meghan had chosen surrogacy while connected to the royal family, and how far could the consequences actually go? For Harry, the pressure seems to have built over time, leading to what many see as a breaking point. "I'm doing this for my family. Nobody should be surprised."
It's sad that it has come to this, but I have no choice. I must protect my mental health, and my wife's too. Those words don't sound like someone living an easy, carefree royal life. They don't come off like casual thoughts from a man surrounded by comfort and privilege. Instead, they hit with the weight of someone who feels pushed into a corner, worn down by constant pressure, and forced to choose between royal duty and protecting his own family. Prince Harry, once known as the spare and the rebellious royal with a playful edge, is now standing right in the middle of a storm that threatens everything he has tried to rebuild. For most of his life, he lived under the massive shadow of the royal institution. Every move he made got picked apart, every mistake turned into headlines, and every moment judged from every angle. His marriage to Meghan Markle became a turning point that grabbed global attention, bringing admiration, criticism, and non-stop debate all at once. Together, they made the bold decision to step away from royal duties, leave Britain behind, and start over in California. It was seen as an escape, a chance to finally breathe, reset, and build a life on their own terms, far from royal expectations. In royal life, real peace is hard to hold on to because controversy travels fast and never stays quiet for long. Recently, new claims began circulating involving Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, suggesting alleged past connections tied to Prince Andrew's social circle. These claims remain unverified, but even the suggestion has stirred intense reactions and raised fresh questions about both the Sussexes and the wider royal family. Those statements hang in the air and refuse to fade, leaving people questioning what's really going on behind the scenes. Why bring up claims like this now after so much time has passed? And even without proof, what impact could this kind of story have on Meghan's past and the image Harry and Meghan have worked so hard to build around independence and control over their own narrative? The timing of all this couldn't be worse. Harry has spent years shaping his image as the protector of his family, the husband determined not to let history repeat itself after losing his mother, Princess Diana. Meghan, on the other hand, has presented herself as someone who was unfairly targeted, misunderstood, and pushed into silence by powerful forces.
Together, they built a narrative centered on resilience, honesty, and starting over on their own terms. But these latest claims tied to Sarah Ferguson are now threatening to shake that image in a serious way. If the story keeps gaining attention, it could shift how people see Meghan completely and leave Harry dealing with pressure, doubt, and another wave of public scrutiny that refuses to back off. Their journey from royal life to independence has already been packed with tension, headlines, and constant debate, but this situation feels different. Some are questioning whether these claims are truth, exaggeration, or something driven by old conflicts. What's clear is that the conversation has been sparked again, and it's spreading fast across media and online spaces. Now the focus turns to the details behind what Sarah Ferguson actually said and why it's making such an impact. Back in the UK, life hasn't stood still. Prince William appears steady and focused, growing into his role with confidence, while King Charles seems more concerned with legacy and responsibility than revisiting past tensions. Meanwhile, Harry seems caught in a complicated space, not fully connected to London, but not completely grounded in Los Angeles either. It's like he's stuck between two worlds, pulled by love, but also weighed down by everything that comes with it. When he says, "I love the two of us," it feels genuine, but according to those close to the situation, it also carries a deeper, more complicated meaning that isn't so easy to explain. Behind the scenes, some sources claim Meghan has taken a very strong role in managing nearly every part of their shared life. According to these accounts, nothing moves forward without her approval. Not the projects Harry takes on, not the people he spends time with, not even the way he presents himself publicly. The concern, they say, has always been that he might speak too openly or reveal more than intended, and insiders are pointing to that summit moment as a turning point. The second Harry spoke from the heart, the carefully controlled image around them reportedly started to crack. Within minutes of the clip spreading online, it said that Meghan's team shifted into full damage control mode. Calls were made, journalists were contacted, and event staff were questioned, as everyone tried to contain the situation before it spiraled further.
But it moved too fast. The internet had already grabbed hold of the moment and ran with it. Viewers started calling it Harry's slip of truth, and that phrase spread almost as quickly as the video itself. To many people watching, it didn't feel staged or polished. It felt real, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore. Sources also claim Meghan was extremely upset behind closed doors. One insider alleges she confronted Harry directly, accusing him of being reckless and feeding into media narratives. I can say safely so from my experience of all the traveling that I've done. Those words remained part of the discussion as tensions reportedly rose. But this time, something shifted in a way that didn't go unnoticed. For the first time in years, Harry reportedly didn't back down. He didn't soften his stance or fall quiet. Instead, he stood firm and held his ground, which insiders say marked a major change in how he's been handling pressure. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, the pattern starts to stand out. His quieter presence during joint appearances, showing up solo more often, speaking less and appearing more reflective. All of it paints the picture of someone slowly pulling away from a situation that once felt secure, but now feels restrictive and heavy. Those close to him don't describe what's happening as rebellion, they call it survival. And then things got even more intense after the main session wrapped up. Harry reportedly stayed behind to speak privately with a small group, away from cameras and headlines. In that quieter space, witnesses say he opened up again, and this time it felt even more personal. When someone asked about his mental health journey, his response stuck with everyone in the room. Healing means telling the truth, even when it hurts people you love. That line didn't just pass by quietly, it landed heavy. For many listening, it didn't sound like a general statement at all. It felt direct, emotional, and deeply personal in a way that raised eyebrows instantly. The tabloids picked it up fast, turning it into headlines, theories, and non-stop discussion. Some people heard guilt in his words, others heard strength, but either way, it sounded like someone standing right at the edge of a life-changing decision. And the big questions started spreading everywhere. How far is Harry willing to go if telling his truth risks everything he once tried to protect?
Could this really be the breaking point? That tension only grew stronger as Meghan Markle stayed completely silent following the latest claims involving Sarah Ferguson. But that silence didn't feel empty. It felt calculated, almost powerful in its own way. Some see it as a strategic pause, a moment to regroup before making a move, while others think it could be the result of being caught off guard by how fast everything escalated. Behind closed doors, the whispers haven't stopped. There are claims that Meghan and Prince Harry may even be considering legal action, though nothing has been confirmed. But stepping into a courtroom was risky. It would bring more headlines, more speculation, and more attention to issues they may want to keep private. And Meghan, having dealt with media battles for years, likely understands exactly how high the stakes could be if things go that far. The harder you push back, the deeper the world starts digging. Every attempt to defend yourself can end up pulling even more attention, more questions, and non-stop judgment that just won't ease up. But at the same time, some believe Meghan might choose a completely different move, using her voice as her strongest weapon. A high-profile interview, carefully planned and delivered at the right moment, could flip the entire narrative in seconds. Instead of being the one under pressure, she could take control and shift into a position of power. Instead of reacting, she could take the lead and reshape how the story is told. And honestly, this wouldn't be new territory for her at all. Meghan has reinvented herself before, and each time she stepped into a new role with confidence, from actress to duchess, from duchess to global activist, and from that role into a figure focused on independence beyond royal walls. She's shown she knows how to adapt when the spotlight shifts. So the big question now is whether this moment becomes yet another reinvention, another chance to take back control of the narrative. Her silence right now feels like a mystery that people can't stop trying to figure out. Is it calm confidence or a calculated pause before something major? No one knows for sure, but that quiet has only made people more curious, keeping her name locked into headlines everywhere. At the same time, Prince Harry is dealing with a tough decision of his own. Does he step forward and strongly defend Meghan, even if it risks creating an even deeper divide with his family? Or does he stay quiet, hoping that patience and distance might protect them better than open conflict? That uncertainty on both sides has turned their story into something bigger than just headlines. It feels like a high-pressure situation where every move matters, every decision carries weight, not just for them as individuals, but for their marriage, their family, and the legacy they're building together. Right now, they're standing in a moment that goes beyond personal disagreement. This isn't just about loyalty or love, it's about endurance under pressure. The world is watching closely as they move through this complex balance of silence and action, defense and control, family ties and standing united as a couple. Each day that passes without a single word from Meghan only turns up the pressure. The silence keeps stretching and the tension keeps building. At this point, one thing is starting to stand out. Whatever move comes next won't just shape how this situation ends, it could define how they survive in the intense world of public opinion. Questions are now stacking up fast. Could Harry have ever noticed anything unusual in Meghan's past connections? And how did their relationship even begin in the first place? Let's break down how this unexpected love story actually started.
For a long time, they kept the details simple, saying only that mutual friends introduced them during the summer of 2016. That vague answer left people guessing, wondering who could have brought together a British prince and an American actress from completely different worlds. It wasn't until 2 years later that more details finally came out. The person behind their introduction was revealed to be Violet von Westenholz, one of Harry's long-time childhood friends. Violet moved in well-connected London circles and worked in public relations for Ralph Lauren, which is how she crossed paths with Meghan while she was visiting the city for events. Now, shifting to another topic that has often been surrounded by speculation, there have been long-standing public rumors about Prince Harry's paternity. It's important to note that no credible evidence has ever supported claims questioning his parentage. Princess Diana did face intense media attention during her marriage, and stories about her personal life were often exaggerated or misrepresented at the time. One of the individuals frequently mentioned in those old reports was Barry Manicky, a British police officer who served as her personal protection officer in the early 1980s. While some rumors tried to twist his role, he was not a tutor or teacher, he was responsible for her safety. Diana was said to have trusted him deeply, and they formed a close connection during a very difficult period in her life, which only fueled further media speculation back then. Friends and historians later shared that Diana often confided in him during one of the hardest periods of her marriage, even describing him as her first real source of emotional support. While there has never been solid evidence that their relationship was physical, their closeness alone was enough to spark major speculation at the time. Eventually, monarchy was reassigned by the royal household due to concerns about how close they had become, and that decision only made the rumors grow louder. After that chapter, Diana was also linked to Oliver Hoare, an art dealer she was said to have grown close to in the late 1980s. Their connection was often described as a friendship built on trust and understanding, especially as her separation from Charles was becoming more likely. There were suggestions of something deeper, but again, no verified proof of a romantic affair has ever been confirmed. Still, because of the intense spotlight on Diana's life, every friendship she had was examined, questioned, and often exaggerated beyond reality.
Hoare was reportedly someone Diana felt comfortable with, someone who listened when she needed support and offered a sense of calm during a very turbulent time. That alone was enough to keep public attention locked onto their connection. Then came Dr. Hasnat Khan, a Pakistani heart surgeon Diana reportedly met in 1995. This relationship was much more private, but is widely acknowledged by those close to her story. She was believed to have had deep feelings for him, and many considered it one of the most serious relationships of her later years. Even though they kept things out of the spotlight, her connection to Khan was seen as genuine and meaningful. However, this relationship had no connection to any claims about Prince Harry's paternity. The name that often comes up in those discussions is James Hewitt. Hewitt, a British Army officer who served in the Household Cavalry, reportedly met Diana in the mid-1980s, and his connection to her became one of the most talked about and debated stories tied to her personal life. Their connection eventually grew into a romantic affair that lasted for several years, later becoming public through interviews James Hewitt gave himself. Unlike the speculation around other friendships in Diana's life, this relationship was openly acknowledged, which is why it drew so much attention. It also became the main reason rumors about Prince Harry's paternity started circulating in the first place. Some people pointed to physical features, especially Harry's red hair, and tried to link it to Hewitt instead of Prince Charles. Others pushed even bigger conspiracy claims, suggesting the royal family had hidden details about Diana's personal life. However, there has never been verified evidence to support those ideas, even though they continue to resurface from time to time. When you actually look at the timeline, the claims don't hold up. Prince Harry was born in September 1984, while Diana's confirmed relationship with Hewitt didn't begin until 1986, well after Harry's birth. Even when considering earlier encounters, credible accounts consistently state that their romantic relationship started after Harry had already been born, making the theory impossible. There's also a clear explanation for Harry's appearance that doesn't involve speculation at all: genetics. The Spencer family line, Diana's side, carries the gene for red hair. Diana herself had auburn tones, and other relatives shared similar features, making Harry's hair completely consistent with his maternal background.
Traits like eye color and facial features are influenced by multiple genes, which means differences between children and parents are completely normal. Just because Harry doesn't look exactly like Charles doesn't point to anything unusual. When you combine basic genetics with the confirmed timeline of events, it becomes clear that the claims about Hewitt or anyone else being Harry's father don't stand up to scrutiny at all. The rumors only grew stronger after Diana's tragic death in 1997. Conspiracy theories started connecting her past relationships to dramatic events, with some even claiming, without any real evidence, that powerful forces were trying to protect the monarchy at all costs. These stories have never been proven, but they continue to pull attention and keep public curiosity alive around Diana's life and the ongoing questions about Harry's past. In reality, the facts paint a much clearer picture. Prince Harry's birth, his red hair, and his features all line up naturally with the Spencer family's genetics.
Diana's connection to monarchy, her friendships with Oliver Her and her Snart Khan, and her later relationship with James Hewitt all happened after, or well after, Harry was already born.
No matter how emotional or significant those relationships were, they don't change the core truth. Prince Charles is Harry's biological father, and the timeline, along with basic genetics, makes that clear without any doubt. Still, these experiences and the constant wave of public speculation have shaped how Harry sees the world today. He's openly suggested that Meghan faced pressures similar to what Princess Diana endured, especially when it came to media scrutiny and lack of support behind the scenes. That belief is a big part of why he chose to speak out and step away from royal life. Now, the question turns to you. Do you think the claims about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry using a surrogate hold any truth, or are they just another wave of online speculation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can join the conversation. And don't forget to check out the next video on your screen. You won't want to miss what comes next.